speaking of that, I'm gonna talk a little shit here, actually. Um,
Okay, okay, we're ready. Hello, and welcome into another episode of Morgan's Pop Talks, breaking down the latest in reality TV and pop culture. Exciting episode for you today. We have Bachelor in Paradise Jonathon Johnson is here to break down his love journey. We're going to talk a lot about Paradise today in the deep dive, but we also have Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Shocker, right? Craig Conover potentially has a new woman in his life, and more with Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers. Their divorce is just getting completely chaotic. But it would not be an episode of MPT if we didn't start with the top of the show, Rant. We bought a house. Hello, homeowners. That's me. And my husband, David. David, nowhere to be found. Where is he? Poof, vanished, gone. In the blink of an eye, nowhere to be found. He's in Barcelona, living it up on a work retreat. I'm packing boxes left and right. I'm meeting with the paint contractor. I'm picking out a paint color, which I don't know if you've ever had to do that. It's nightmare fuel. Like, I did not know that picking a white paint specifically, was going to be so hard. There's so many factors that you have to think about when picking an off-white paint. Like, does the sun rise on the east or the west side of your house? Do you have warm light or cool light? Your floors, will the color of your floor reflect yellow on your walls? It's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I had to be a mathematician to figure out what color paint to buy, but I did it. I got Alabaster by Sherwin-Williams. I don't know if it's going to look okay. Do not even send me one single DM telling me that it's going to look yellow, or I will go down a spiral and potentially just never move into my new house. So that's kind of where I'm at. You know, David did get his karma for leaving me the week that we get the keys to our first ever home as a married couple. He was flying to Barcelona, missed his connection in Newark, had to stay 24 hours in New York City, spent $150 on a cab, the hotel, to go back to the Newark airport 24 hours later for his flight to be canceled to Barcelona. So then he went to JFK, got on a different flight, and eventually made it there, but he did not make it there without going through the wrath of, I don't know who, me, probably. I feel like I kind of yielded it into existence because I was so peeved that he was not going to be here, when we first got the keys. But I'm happy that he made it safe and sound. I really had the guilt trip about halfway through. Like, the first time that he got stuck, I was like, I told you so, shouldn't have gone. You should have stayed with me and we could be decorating our house all cute together. The second time that he missed his flight and it got canceled and he texted me, I'm coming home. I'm like, oh, honey, no, you got to make it to Barcelona, angel. Really just sucking up. But he made it. He made it. He's fine. I'm fine, I think. Just depends who you ask, to be completely honest. But let's go ahead and dive into this week's Pop 3. Let's start with the Blake Lively deposition that finally happened, and Justin Baldoni was in attendance. Now, this kind of caused a bit of an uproar on social media. I'm not entirely sure why. I think maybe just the shock value, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, the face-off showdown. I don't really think that it was all that serious. So let me read you kind of the synopsis and then I'll give you my opinion. So it was held at Blake Lively's attorney's office in New York City last week. It was governed by a protective order allowing her team to control the location and the attendee list. He apparently sat in while she was questioned by her lawyers. In all, the deposition allegedly had attorneys on both sides, a videographer, a court reporter, and then, of course, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni all in the room. So Blake Lively's lawyers are accusing Justin Baldoni's team of leaking this information to the press and causing yet another media circus, right? It says here, they claim his team falsely portrayed it as a face-to-face showdown to stir up press attention and said they leaked details to create a media circus. Her lawyers say reports from the media apparently suggested Lively needed an entourage, while implying Justin Baldoni came nearly alone, which her team says is inaccurate. In fact, her team says she testified in front of multiple people from Baldoni's side and 8 of his attorneys. So, to be completely honest with you, I did read the TMZ article that came out when the news broke that Justin Baldoni was in the courtroom with Blake Lively, or not the courtroom, her lawyer's office for the deposition. And it didn't strike me as like, ooh, this face-to-face showdown, as much as it was like TMZ being TMZ. Like, you have to know that these different news publications have a way of getting you to click on the article, right? But it's like, is that TMZ making sure that they get clicks, or is it Justin Baldoni's team saying, make sure you word it in this manner? I don't know. I don't work at TMZ, but just something to think about. Headline number 2 in this week's Pop 3, Craig Conover spotted with model Elizabeth Turner. What's the sitch? New girly pop for Craigie. So this was posted to Dumois, Craig hand in hand with model Elizabeth Turner during a night out in Charleston. According to Us Weekly, she does humanitarian work. She's a model and a psychotherapist specializing in neurodivergence. Okay, it's not enough that you're drop dead gorgeous, but you're also seemingly a good person. Okay, and she's smart, working towards her PhD. Says she splits her time between LA and New York. I'm surprised that Craig does not have New York PTSD. I feel like if I'm Craig Conover and I just got out of a long-term relationship with a girl who was hustling and bustling about in New York City, I would never want to hear the city name ever again. I would never want to go again. That's just me because I'm petty in nature and maybe a little bit immature when it comes to that. But I do fear, and I don't know, maybe he's just not ready for more of a serious relationship. But, you know, if you keep attracting the same type of person, you're going to keep going through the same type of situation. So I don't know, not judging him, do you? This is crazy. So there's a Bachelor Nation tie-in here. I was wondering, I'm like, this name sounds so familiar. I can't put my finger on it. You remember when Gabby Wendy was the Bachelorette, she got engaged to Eric Schwer, which feels like a fever dream, right? Gabby Wendy was engaged to Eric Schwer, right? They broke up, and not long after, Eric was spotted with this model, Elizabeth Turner, and they dated for a little bit. So honestly, like I said, good for Craig. Live your life. We've been saying both Paige and Craig are going to be hot commodities in their respective fields. It just is what it is. And I also feel like both Craig and Paige are relationship people. You know, they are able to lock it down like that. I was not like that. You guys know, if you've been listening to MPT for a while, you know that like I really didn't even like any of my ex-boyfriends besides my now husband. Like sometimes I needed a little convincing that I actually like these people. That's why I don't understand. I don't understand like how, no shade. I don't understand how people can jump from relationship to relationship and actually like the person, you know? That's just me. Maybe that's something I need to work on. But anyways, we'll see if that blossoms into anything else. On the flip side of the coin, not new and exciting love, like detrimental, toxic love, temporary restraining orders. We got to talk about Aaron Phypers and Denise Richards because the separation is just getting uglier and uglier. So police were called on Sunday after Denise showed up at the house that Aaron shares with his parents and brother to pick up a dog. The problem is that there's a temporary restraining order out there. Denise is the one who wanted it. And, you know, it's forcing them to keep their distance from each other. And then she shows up at the house. So Aaron told TMZ Denise showed up unannounced and started banging on a back door, demanding to be let in. Aaron saw what was unfolding and he immediately left because he was concerned about the restraining order. Aaron's parents let her in, where allegedly she demanded the dog, screaming at Aaron's parents. She then went after his brother, allegedly swinging at him and throwing mail at him. In the end, no arrests were made, and Denise's lawyer later issued a statement saying Mrs. Richards did not violate a restraining order. On August 3rd, 2025, after confirming that Mr. Phypers was not present in their home, Ms. Richards entered the home to retrieve her dogs after learning that Mr. Phypers had put down one of her dogs without her knowledge or permission. Now that's crazy. Capital C. The whole thing, crazy, in all capital letters. And that's why I feel like I struggle to even keep up with what's going on between Aaron and Denise, because I feel like it's just a ping pong match of craziness. Truly. And 5 seconds ago, I thought they were a happy couple, Denise Richards and her Wild Things on Peacock. All is not what it seems, you guys. All is not what it seems. All right, let's get into this week's deep dive. Let's dive right in. The season of Bachelor in Paradise is hotter than ever, with more twists, more turns. The Goldens are there. We now have $500,000 on the line. And here to break down his love journey, or maybe his lack of, is Jonathon Johnson. I was going to say happy birthday. Act like I didn't know that today was your birthday. Happy birthday, Jonathon.
Yeah, thank you. No, when you were asking like what days worked, I was like, you know what? I'll probably be in a good mood on my birthday. Let's chat. So
Are you?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for spending your birthday here with all of us at MPT. We appreciate it greatly. Thanks
for having me.
But we have to talk about your post that you made today on your birthday. Obviously, this was a big episode for you for a lot of different reasons, and I'm on Instagram and I'm seeing all your happy birthday posts, and then you kind of felt the need to not really defend yourself, I think, but give more context as to what was going through your mind this week. Can you kind of walk us through that for some of the people that have not seen it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, to preface, it's been a bit of an ongoing question and narrative in a lot of people's minds, and they were just looking for a moment to like make it make sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But up until this point through Paradise, I was interested in 2 women, and they friend zoned me, and again, I understood, and not everybody's gonna like everybody. And then in return, it happened to me where I was put in a position where I needed to friend zone, and it didn't go as smoothly. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a bad communication thing or whatever it might be. But people are more confused as to like, why are people not going for you? Why are you not going for them? And it's as simple as the people I'm not interested, or the people I'm into aren't interested in me. And the people that are interested in me, I'm not interested in romantically.
Yeah.
And with that, I have a lot of love for everybody in Bachelor Nation. They've made everything so special for me. So it's really hard to look like internally at these moments, and for have people on the outside that don't know what's going on, speak negatively of how I'm trying to go about things. I have 48 hours to decide whether or not I like somebody enough that I want to start pursuing them.
Yeah.
Full on.
Yeah.
And for me, in this world, I have to call myself a slow burn, but I think I should just call myself realistic in the fact that I don't fall for somebody in 48 hours. It's not my MO, and I try to be as realistic as possible. And when people come in that I know are just a friend, I don't want to be that guy that's just like absolutely not right off the rip, because then you look like an asshole.
Right.
And I don't think people are conscious of that. That's how it goes. And for the outside to sit there and just question my motives, question why I'm single, question all these different things, I'm like, guys, there's 8 billion people on this earth, and some people go a lifetime without finding somebody. The network put 10 people in front of me, half of which were already friends, and they said, pick somebody. And I was like, I can't fake my emotions. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I think people can see that through social media. I can't fake it on a show, and I'm not going to try to. And I just wanted to remind people, like, guys, it's nothing wrong with me. It's nothing wrong with that. Well, I'm sure there's things wrong with me, but there's nothing wrong with them. Like, it's just a simple case of just my person wasn't there, and it's nothing deeper than that. You can have all these expectations, with a ton of people did leading up to this moment. They're like, this isn't the you we thought. And I'm like, I never told you I was this person. You guys built this idea up over the last 10 months of that you were excited to see me there, and I did too. And I'm just as let down as you guys are that I didn't find anybody, and it sucked. So I
Well,
wanted
I
to
mean,
just,
I wouldn't even say like, I mean, I understand people want you to find love. You were a hot commodity. You are a hot commodity there. But it's got to be this internal conflict too when, like you said, there's only 10 people in front of you. You're not going to fall in love with everybody. You really only should fall in love with a handful of people throughout the entirety of your life.
yeah,
But then you see two of your good friends come down, Jill and Leia.
yep.
And is there ever a thought where you're like, okay, well, I know that these women are my friends, but I am in paradise. So should I try to pursue something romantically? Well, if I try to pursue something romantically and it goes bad, am I going to have the you led them on trope? So it's like it's hard to balance, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough thing too, and I think more in the Leia situation because Leia and I are great friends, like phenomenal, and people are like, "Oh, his switch up was crazy." Well, I'd say on the flip side, somebody comes down that was my friend before and says they have a crush. I'm like, well, in my opinion, that might be the switch up, and now I'm having to navigate this scenario where like I have so much love for this girl, and I want to see her happy, and I want to see her like successful in paradise. So I'm like, how do I go about this?
Right.
And then you have everybody in paradise being like, so you and Leia, what's going on? What's going on? And they showed one interaction with me and Kat, but this is after everybody there is like, so you guys. And I'm like, no, please stop. Like, you guys are making this really stressful. Like, we're just friends. And by that point, I'm frustrated. And even she says throughout the episode, she's like, oh, I don't know if you'll be able to get there. He is just a friend. And then the confrontation comes about where she goes, so, like, pretty much I hear that you're saying to everybody we're just friends, which it was confusing also on my end, too, because she kept calling us friends as well. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And, there's just moments throughout Paradise where I just had to eat my foot and just be like, you know what, I'm sorry. Like,
When she came up to you and she wanted to talk to you, Leia, did you know what that conversation was going to be about? Did you have any idea?
I honestly, I had no idea. I just genuinely thought we were on the same page.
Were you surprised when she gave you a rose after that conversation? Or did you figure you guys were just going to ride it out together with this new twist, which we'll get into?
Yeah, I mean, easy answer is no. I did not expect her to give it to me. At this point, I'm just like, oh, well, I'm going home. You know what I mean? And that's purely because I'm like, I'm not going to fake an answer or BS you just to stay here. Like,
Yeah.
you're my friend. I take this all very seriously. My MO is not to try and manipulate you to swing it so I can stay. Even with $500,000 in line, my friend's happiness and my relationships with them means significantly more. I would never want to hurt anybody. So I'm honest, and then we go into it, and she's upset. Everybody deals with hurt in different ways, and I got it, and I was like, you know what, it's completely fine. I did not expect the you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And you can see in the moment, like, again, I still, in my mind, I know she's upset, but I still see her as a friend. You can see me laughing because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you got me. Like, you got me in that moment. And I think to everybody else, they're like seeing it, they're like, oh my God, he's like laughing in this moment. Like, that's not funny. Like, that's not this. And it's like, people don't understand the friendship that came into this moment. That
It was funny. It was funny.
And I think it's all in good fun, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's one of those hard things that's hard to read.
Yeah.
Like,
How are you and Leia now? Still friends? Still good?
we talk literally like every day. Like, it's
Yeah.
yeah. She wished me a happy birthday first today. Like, we check in on each other all the time. Like, amazing friends.
So before we get to the new twist of Paradise, one more thing about what you posted
Yeah.
today, saying you were in a bad mental place before going on Paradise and you should have stayed home. Can you
Yeah.
explain what you meant by that a little bit more?
Definitely. Mental health is a huge thing to me. And I talk a lot about it with my friends. My best friend and roommate has a mental health clothing company. It's a huge narrative of my life, and making sure my people are good and making sure everyone around me is good is something I take very near and dear to my heart. And I don't do a very good job of doing it for myself. And I think going into Paradise, I didn't realize the pressure of the world and the weight of the show and everything that comes along with it, I never processed it, you know, in that last year since Bachelorette. You know, everybody thinks, oh, you get all this positivity and good attention, and it's an amazing thing. Like, I'm so grateful every single day. But there's a pressure that comes with it too that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. So I get there and I'm like, hey, I want to do right by everybody. I want to make sure I come into Paradise and I kill it, you know, and I want to make sure everybody's happy with the way that I go about it. And the maybe not of going is I went in trying to do right by everybody else, so much so that I didn't do right by me, you know, and it stopped me from getting to enjoy Paradise the way that I think I would have wanted to do it. And it's really sad to watch back, like from just myself, you know, you have to watch yourself back in an anxious spot. Nobody has to do that. Like, unless you've been in that position, it's hard to understand, but seeing yourself in a light that you just aren't used to having to watch, especially on a public platform for everybody to judge, is really, really tough. So no regret in going at all, but I think I should have gone in a better mental state 1000%, you know? And I wish somebody would have checked on me ahead of time. Like, hey, are you actually good? Like, you know, it's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of momentum. Like, you've probably built it up in your head. Like, are you good to go? Yeah. No, it's just like, okay, we're going to start here, get packed. Not, hey, this is a long time coming. Are you good to go? Like, are you going to be okay? And I didn't check myself either. So that was really tough.
Well, and the thought that, you know, these opportunities don't come around every day. You know, who's to say that if you wouldn't have said yes this time around, that they would have came back, you know, this next season. So it's almost like sometimes you do just have to push all those feelings down because you don't know if you're ever going to get another chance to.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I think you should give yourself some grace. I mean, nobody is going to ever go on Paradise and come out like this perfect angel. I think I would much rather, and this is just me, but I would much rather have somebody be direct. You know, sometimes it's hard to do that because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But at the end of the day, you know, you were direct with them both eventually. Then to, you know, paint a different picture of a relationship for $500,000, which we're kind of already starting to see. What did you make of that when Jesse said, oh, yeah, you might win $500,000?
Well, I mean, at this point, I had already wanted to go home now twice. Certain scenarios where I'm like, damn, this sucks. You know, and then now this comes about. I think I'm going to go home after Leia and I's conversation. And then obviously Jesse says what he says, and I'm like, well, if Leia and I can figure this out,
right, might as well.
We can go back to being our normal friends. Like, there's something else to be here for now. Like, I have a reason to be. I may not have found anybody. My person may not have showed up, and it sucks completely because that is all I've been hoping for the last 10 months leading up to this point. But I kind of fell short. I fell on my face. I made some mistakes along the way, but now there's something else here to shoot for, you know, and I guess I can't really give any spoilers, but hopefully
Was there any conversation between you and Leia after you guys made it clear that you were just going to move forward as friends where you're like, because we did see a little bit where you guys are like, well, we know we're not the strongest couple here. So, like, strategically, we could go far and we could end up winning. Mm-hmm. After you DTR'd, was that your mindset moving forward?
So, yeah, that conversation that you guys got to watch is very much so us being like, okay, we're at a disadvantage romantically. Like, I don't think America wants to see a non-couple win, you know? Mm-hmm. But then who's to say, like, friend love isn't like,
you never know.
Love still, you know what I mean? So we go, what are the advantages to being friends in doing this? And we kind of come to the conclusion of like, well, there's no romantic involvement. So like, what are we going to get mad at one another? Are we going to be able to just dust things off, roast each other? Like, are we going to just be able to just banter back and forth and not take little things too serious? Mm-hmm. And we kind of mutually decided like, yeah, probably.
Let's get the bag.
Yeah,
if we're not getting love,
let's do it.
Oh, that's great. I want your take on what's going on with Jeremy because I mean, obviously, you guys have a relationship more than the audience has a relationship with Jeremy. But it very much so seems like he is into Bailey, but was more into Susie. And then as soon as that $500,000 came out of Jesse's mouth, it was like, done deal. You know, Susie doesn't exist anymore. So what's your take on all of that playing out?
It's tough to watch back because Jeremy's a good friend of mine. I love Jeremy, you know, and I think he said things out of place and misspoke and probably made mistakes along the way, just as we all have. Knowing what I know, I think Bailey's incredible. I think Jeremy has so much feelings for her, like loves the hell out of her, and they're incredible. And the chemistry is shown on the show very much so. Like they can't get enough of one another. You know, and I think when it comes to the point where Jesse announces the 500,000, it's easy if I go, oh my God, now I can be here for a reason, versus if somebody who's in a like strong relationship goes, oh, now I have a reason to be here. Yeah. It's a lot different sounding depending on the framework of like what goes into being said there. And I think everybody's mindset changed a little bit into being worried. It
had to have, yeah. They're not a human being if that doesn't change anything in them.
No, not at all. And it's funny too because when we were filming it, like it was a fear of people to talk about. They're like, oh, like I don't want people thinking like we're just here for the money now or whatever it might be. And I'm like, nobody at home's gonna give a shit. Like if they were in a position with $500,000, they would do the same damn thing, and they would talk about how their life will change too. I was like, yes, you guys are here for love, but like, you can keep the love going outside of you. You can't win $500,000 out of nowhere outside of here.
Yeah.
Worry about it. So I think it's like a mix of like making sure you say it in the right way, of not sounding like that's the only reason you're here. Right. Versus like it being part of the reason you're here now, you know?
Well, that's interesting because I read this interview with the new executive producer, and he was talking about it, which I love all the upgrades to the show, the glow up. It's so good. It's so good. But I read this interview and he said that what was interesting was that some of the more traditional contestants, you know, you guys, came in with more of a mindset of like how you would be perceived and how it would play out on social media, you know, inherently, because that's you know, the era that we live in, where the Goldens were like balls to the wall, like let's do whatever. Do you agree with that? And do you think that the Goldens showing up helped you guys loosen up a little bit and maybe not care as much about, you know, thinking about how you're going to be portrayed and being able to just enjoy the moment?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a big narrative that people are also kind of afraid to talk about. Is there's so much fear to make a mistake in Bachelor Nation because people can be brutal. You know, you've seen it before where people get death threats, where people are like, kill yourself. Like they say just the most absurd things, not remembering that there's human beings on the other side of these messages sometimes. And none of us want that for ourselves, you know, like it's not fun to deal with. Right. So I think we operate out of fear a lot of times going into these moments, which doesn't make as much fun for TV. I think of it as a comfortable place where you just encourage people to make an idiot of themselves and try to do their best. I think you get a lot better show out of it, especially being the fans of it. And unfortunately that isn't the reality. But when the Goldens showed up, and their carefreeness, but also their perspectives on the world, like genuinely, in my opinion, they saved Paradise. Not only did they save Paradise from like an entertainment standpoint, but they saved it for me. Like as I was going through this bad mental state and messing up with my friends and trying to navigate the way that I knew best, they were constantly reassuring, like, we love you so much. April wanted to give me the rose because she's like, I see what you're trying to do here, and like I believe in you. And she saw that I fell short, but like they just kept saying like, we know your heart, we know what is going on here. And they did it with everybody, and not just me. They would be there for literally anybody that needed it, and they were just like the grandparents of Paradise. It was the most magical thing having them there and them getting just as excited, if not more, than us in certain moments.
Yeah, I love the dynamic. I think that it's really playing out well. I think it's balanced well. Didn't like that Jeremy said he didn't like the Goldens, which can you like was
Yeah,
he being
that's a crazy take.
sarcastic or was he being serious?
I don't know. I didn't like
Okay.
hearing that in that moment.
Yeah.
Again, good friend of mine, but I did not like hearing that in that moment because I'm like, these people just saved this show for me when I was not in a
Yeah,
good
we
mood.
will fight over the Goldens.
Literally.
Okay, let's move on to Brian. Can you defend Brian, right? Like, what does
I
the audience not know about Brian? Because you
my
were roommates with him, right?
my thing is I don't defend anybody. I'm just gonna speak as neutrally as possible. And I mean, I guess it's relatively shown, but I try to stay as unproblematic as possible. I try to. And I try to stay out of it, and I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, especially the women in the show.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, Brian and I were roommates. Um, we really didn't talk much. If I was in the room, I was either reading, playing my crosswords or Sudoku, and taking a nap. Like there wasn't much going on. And I'm not going to just sit in a room and not talk to somebody, but it was more or less just me getting to like know him. We would play question games where it's just like random things about your life, like what makes you tick, like what are your goals, your ambitions, what do you want from this? Like I think he would share things with me about Pairesa, but I would just kind of just take them with a grain of salt, because her and I, again, not everything is shown all the time, but her and I had a really good relationship as well. Um, and there's a moment, and I don't know if it'll be shown, but in the next episode where I give her my opinion. I go, you deserve to be treated how you want. Like
Mm.
I don't know exactly how it is, but I see you upset just about every day now, and
Yeah.
it's not fair to yourself to keep doing that. Um, I don't have a defense necessarily for Brian. Like I wasn't a part of those private conversations, but God, do I not like the way you spoke to her in some of those moments. I'll be
Yeah.
so transparent with that. Like I would never tell somebody to not be themselves with me. Like if I'm going to love somebody, I want to love them for exactly who they are. And you should never feel like you're too much as an individual because you're just enough for the right person.
Right.
And hearing that rubbed me the wrong way for sure. Um, so yeah,
We'll have to
not a
see
big
how it
fan of the
continues to
words
play
never.
out.
Yeah, but
So, if you were Bailey in Bailey's situation,
oh shit.
have the power to give out your two roses. Who was it? It was Faith and Kim, Leslie and Gary, and
Yep.
then Brian and Pairesa. Who would you have saved and who would
Mm,
you have subsequently eliminated?
that is tough.
And you can be strategic if you want to be, because I do feel like that decision came down to wanting to win $500,000 and not necessarily wanting to, keep a strong couple around. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
love Gary and Leslie.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna run you through my logic of how I would make the decision,
Okay.
and then hopefully come to one. I would look at Priest and Brian, and I would say, okay, I'm not her father, her godfather. I can't tell her what she can and can't do. If she's happy in it, that that is her business, and I'm not gonna stick my nose in it other than being like, hey, I think you deserve better. If she wants to be in it, cool. I shouldn't have the power to like separate those two people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You gotta make that
Yeah.
decision for yourself. So I would think on that. Then I would go to Faith and Kim and watching them. Initially, I didn't really buy into their relationship too much. I was like, okay, they're new. I know Kim's a lover boy, and I love that about him. Kim's one of my favorite people. Is is she here because he was into her, or because she's into him, like actually? And then
Hmm.
I kind of saw the relationship blossom more and more, and she seemed giddy and happy, and I was like, whoever he chooses to love is going to get so much love, and I hope she takes every ounce of it. So I was kind of cheering for them at this point. And then Leslie and Gary. Gary is one of my favorite Goldens of all time.
He's
Like
the best. He
he
is the
is just
best.
my guy, and I love the hell out of him. But if we're going based on like strategy and game, like
Yes.
he made a mistake at the game.
A big one. A monumental one.
Huge one. They wouldn't even have been in bottom three. We were
Yeah.
watching it. Like those reactions to us or to him making that decision from all of us was like,
Yeah,
because
that was it.
like we're not going to speak up and be like, no, don't make that stupid mistake. But like
Count
we're
the
watching
chips
it and we're like,
again.
oh my god, you did it.
Yeah.
And I think I would probably base my decision on that, which is so hard because I love Gary with all of my heart.
Yeah.
But I think if that is the case, I think I would base it based on the game because now it is like more like game show in paradise almost. And I would probably
Yeah.
be like, you know what? You took a bet and
You lost it.
you lost it.
Yeah.
I would probably go based on that.
Do you think that Jeremy had any say in that decision, or do you think it was Bailey's decision? Because
I mean,
yes, I
it
do
was
think that Bailey, like, it was partly her decision, but I think Jeremy was definitely pulling some strings.
well, I'd say Bailey, similar to me, is very much a people pleaser, and she doesn't want to see anybody sent home or upset.
Right, right.
And I think she needed to lean on Jeremy to be like, yeah, no, they should go. Like,
Yeah.
because Jeremy's a little bit more cut and dry. I think Bailey needed the reassurance that she was making the right decision. So I think it was a team effort in that moment.
How are you and Dale? Are you guys cool? I'm confused about your guys' relationship.
Dale and I are fine. I think Dale was one of the only other people that was trying to be open in the same way that I was. So I understood where he was coming from. I think he was over promising to Kat a little bit in the beginning, while also trying to stay open. But other than that, like him and I didn't really have anything against. I still don't have anything against Dale at all. You know what I mean? Like I was into Kat, but that lasted about 30 seconds until and she was losing her cool over like freaking out. And I was like, God damn it, I got no shot here. No, we're done now. So at that point I was just like, no, I'm off the Kat train here. But I wanted to just, speaking of that, I'm gonna talk a little shit here actually.
Okay, we're ready.
Kat train. Her and I are great friends. I had her back in different moments, and it was shown, I love the hell out of her, still love the hell out of her, but her switch up on me was crazy because I'd had her back nothing but all the time.
Yeah.
This,
In the confessional moment.
like, okay, yeah, let's go after Jonathon a little bit. And I'm like, what? Not even like hey, maybe he was trying to do this or like,
Yeah.
explain my side a little bit because we had talked about it a lot too.
Yeah.
No. And I'm like, okay, well that sucks. Like you invest a lot of time, energy, and effort into like protecting somebody and making sure they're okay, for them to just be like, you want to
Not give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to help you guys out because I'm going to say something too. And you're like, well, that sucks.
Yeah. Do you think any of that had to do with, the whole situation with what Dale said and you bringing it to Kat and then Dale not really owning up to it? Did he ever own up to it while you guys were there, or was it still like some confusion there about what Dale said?
Confusion because I don't think it was known who fully had said it. And that's why I didn't just straight up just say it when he walked over, because I was like, I don't fully know where it came from. Like, and then it was shown that like I was at the conversation. That's not how I remembered. I remembered just like hearing it in passing that somebody had said it, and it potentially came from him. So I didn't want to own it 100% and be like, this is exactly what was said by Dale. I was
right.
I overheard this. Dale was
But
part
you
of
did nail it.
You did nail it. Verbatim, which nobody else has done. That's in paradise. Like, it's a game of telephone, and everybody messes it up a little bit. Verbatim said it. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. But again, I'm not trying to like break these individuals up. I'm just trying to make sure somebody I care about a ton is informed.
Needs to know all the information, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised by that too. I mean, on one hand, we ride for the girls and, sometimes you just got to ride for your girls. But at the same time, if she's a good friend of yours, she would know that that wasn't your intention from the get-go and know that maybe there's some type of miscommunication here. Let's try to pinpoint where it's coming from
Hmm.
instead of just being like, oh, well, that's just Jonathan being Jonathan.
Yeah. And again, I understand it, and this is the world we live in, and I'm so grateful for the women of Bachelor Nation. But I understand that girls got to be there for girls. Like,
Yeah.
that is the reality of the world I have put myself into. And at the end of the day, like, what I can't fight it. I'm not going to fight all of you. That is a battle I will lose 10 out of 10 times.
That's
So
right.
I just got to take it on the chin, and I got to be like, you know what, ladies, stick together, be there for one another. I know how many shitty men are out there, and I know you're just going to do right by your girls. I get
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and I can live with that. Um, Again, not fun to be on the receiving end of it,
Sure.
but I get it.
Sure. There are some Bachelor Nation girlies out there that are pitching you to be the next Bachelor. Did you know that?
I did see that, and I was like,
Leslie Fema said she wants you to be the Bachelor. Bob Guinea, which, hello, throwback. If you're
yeah,
getting the Bob Guinea stamp of approval, that's a big freaking deal.
yeah, I love Bob, love Bob.
I'm sure
There's,
you've been asked a million times, but like, would you do it?
you know, it. Let's go with short answers. Yes, but I don't know if people are wanting like a realistic Bachelor season. I would come into it and I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
girls, I'm not going to fall for you overnight. And I got a lot of love to give, and I want to make sure I give it to the right person. And we may not have a lot of time, but we need to make it intentional, and we're going to do
Hmm.
this the right way. And if America or Bachelor Nation decided, hey, we actually want somebody that is willing to be realistic and willing to not just jump head over heels and be overly dramatic and say all these over
Yeah,
promising
yeah.
things and under delivering, like if they wanted somebody like that and I felt that, I would 100% do it. But if it didn't feel like a narrative that people were ready for,
Hmm.
I would step away because I take loving somebody very, very seriously, and that's kind of why I've gotten in trouble on the show thus far. Is I'm not going to change who I am because there's a camera in my face. I'm going to show
Yeah.
you exactly who I am. I know exactly what I'm looking for and what I want out of a partner, and just know if I end up with somebody, like I said in that post, like it will be real. Like it's not
Yeah.
like a front. It will be because I actually love that person dearly. So
Well, I think it
I don't know.
depends too. I think it depends because do you want, like, I get what you're saying, but technically producers, want the love, the drama, the proposal at the end of it.
Yep.
However, I think, as a viewer and as somebody who like studies the show, we do want all of those things, but we also want longevity in the relationship after it's
Yeah.
done, which, you don't want to put too much pressure on people because the real world is a totally different world. But for me personally, I would, if we're saying like, would you rather, I would rather have a slow burn and watch them actually reach the happily ever after,
Yep.
actually get married as opposed to maybe just playing the part,
Yeah.
proposing just for the sake of proposing and then breaking up however many months later.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there would be by the end of it, there would be no question. Like it would be down to the last two, and you guys wouldn't. You'd be like, no, it's her. Like
It's a wrap.
he is going to do everything in his power to make that girl happy for the rest of their lives, and hopefully she does the same. And you guys would
Yeah.
know. It wouldn't be a secret because I would know exactly who it is, and I would make my decision.
Would you ever do Dancing with the Stars?
Would I do it?
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot of fun.
I feel like you would crush it.
I think it would be a ton of fun. I actually last time I was in New York, I did Ezra,
Hmm.
the stars. His sister Steph and I became really good friends, and she's like, "Can I make a video with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, what do you want to do? She's like, "I just want to teach you the cha cha," and I was like, "Let's do it." So her and I made a really fun video where we just kind of get to dance like cha cha, and she's teaching me stuff. And honestly, I had so much fun making that like if it was like that every week, and I just gotta like
Yeah.
have fun, like working out and fitness is a big part of my life, but also I just love to mess around. I think it would be a ton of fun to actually do. So if it was something where they ever wanted me and it was something that aligned well, 100%.
I think that would be a
I'd love
good
to.
fit. Whoever is listening out there that cast for Dancing with the Stars, I think Jonathan would be great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, random attachment here. So Riley Arnold,
Hmm.
her dad is my uncle's best friend from high school. Like they had sleepovers at my mom's house when they were kids.
No way.
Crazy, crazy.
Well, there you go. Jonathon Johnson, Riley Arnold, Mirabelle Trophy winners, maybe next season.
Wow, that would be
We're
fantastic.
manifesting.
And families coming together. They after
Yes.
like 30 years. That'd be crazy.
We'll make it happen. Well, Jonathan, thank you for spending your birthday with us. I won't keep
Only
you all
3
day
weeks?
because I know you probably have more like exciting things to do than just sit here and talk to us all
Honestly, I'm
day.
having a great time talking because I got to get away from my phone and all the messages. My birthday is stressful because it's, again, the people pleaser in me wants to respond to everybody and try to be like,
Yeah.
I love you, thanks for giving me love, like all the things. And this has been my moment to just like step away and talk.
Okay, well, actually, because it's your birthday, I'm gonna take a picture of us right now, and I'm gonna post this on my Instagram story,
Okay.
and then you'll have to repost it on yours. Well, I gotta make sure you can't see
100%.
my
What song do
question.
you want? What song do you want over it?
Oh, let me think about it.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Three. Oh, I gotta get closer. 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll think about it. What's a good birthday song? It doesn't have to be a birthday song, does it?
No, it could be anything that you want.
I'll DM you.
Before we hop off,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one question because I feel like I don't do this anytime. It's always questions about me, but I want to ask you something.
Ask me.
Okay. What is your? This is gonna be fun. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about Bachelor Nation? Before we go,
Oh, okay. Favorite and least favorite.
favorite and least favorite.
Does it have to be like of all time or can it be right now in this moment?
Let's keep it current.
Okay. My favorite thing about Bachelor Nation right now is the introduction of the Goldens. I loved Gary's season. I loved Joan's season. I love that they brought them on Bachelor in Paradise. I feel like it really did bring, not to say that everybody, in the OG franchise is there for the wrong reasons, but the Goldens don't have that mentality like whatsoever. And if they do, it's very subdued. Like, that these people are, you don't want to say desperate, but like they really want to find love and they want this to be their, the next chapter in their life. So I just feel like it's brought a new level of like wholesomeness back to the franchise, which I really love.
Yeah.
My least favorite thing about Bachelor Nation, and this is kind of always, and it's kind of, you're going to be disappointed by this answer because I think
No,
it's
we'll
like
see.
kind of a politically correct answer, but it is true. I don't like the fan hate. The fan hate ruins it. Like, when you are so worried about what somebody is going to say in your comment section while you're filming the show, it ruins the show because people aren't allowing themselves to be authentic. They're not allowing themselves to be messy, which like everybody's love life is messy. Like, hopefully until you get married.
Ours is just put on blast. for everybody.
Exactly. So like let's not villainize every person for every little thing when deep down, everybody's got their things that they could do better on, but I feel like when you go on the show and then you come off and you have death threats in your DMs, like pretty soon nobody's going to want to go on the show anymore. And whose fault is that? It's not your guys's.
Okay. That's a good thing. Like I told you
Did I give
that's
another
kind of
answer
where
that's
my
a little bit
post
more
came from today. No, it's
salacious?
okay that it's a politically correct answer, but it's something that needs to be talked about too. So
I'll say this too. What I don't like right now about Bachelor in Paradise. I need more Hannah Brown. Why is she there if she's not going to be on the TV? I feel like I've seen her one time, and all the times that I have seen her, she's like literally just pouring champagne. Like I want therapy sessions with Hannah Brown. I want more because right now it's not really making sense to me.
yeah. Yeah,
Is that good enough?
we didn't get to see much of her. I'll say that. But the moments that we did were really sweet because she's an incredible woman.
Yeah.
She even had her fiance there, which he's great too.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys didn't get to see much of her, like, actually while you were there?
No, I weirdly enough, I ran into her the most because of just luck of the draw. I'd be going back to my room and somehow she'd just be walking by like every day. And we just got like a little bit of a relationship that way. Like she's an incredible person. I think she was just there and she would work during the days and then come down, do her thing. It's kind of like Jesse. Like we see her about as much as we see Jesse. Jesse pops in to say something and then he goes. And Hannah's
Jesse
kind of
gets
the
more
same.
screen time.
Yeah,
We need
true.
Hannah Brown's screen time up, please.
Yep. I think if she kind of helped Jesse with doing what he did, I think it'd be a really fun mix in.
Okay, well, since I can't have it end with you questioning me, I do have one more question for you, and it just popped into my head, and it's just fun, lighthearted question, because it just reminded me about Hannah Brown's wedding, and like, oh my gosh, how beautiful it was. If you had to pick somebody right now from Bachelor Nation to be your wedding date for the rest of eternity, who would it be and why?
That is an insane question. So, who would I like to fall in love with and take to weddings for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to necessarily fall in love with them. It just would ensure a good time at the reception.
Oh,
But you can fall in love with them if you want.
Okay. This is a two-part answer. I'll make it quick.
Okay.
If we've learned anything about me thus far, it's that just because somebody's beautiful does not mean I'm going to be into them. There's been nothing but beautiful women on the beaches of paradise, and there's just like a spark that I just haven't felt with anybody yet. So as far as love, like I got to meet these women face to face before I can make that decision, genuinely. Like there's just like an X factor to like the way you interact with somebody that I just can't get enough of, and I would have to feel that out with someone. Now, with that being said,
Yeah, come on.
person who I would love to bring as a +1 because I know we would have a damn good time, and you're gonna love this answer, is Leia. Leia and I
Okay, well there we go.
fun together. Like when I say we're friends, I genuinely mean we are great friends. Like I love all out of her. She gives me shit, I give her shit. Like we have fun. The banter's there. We talk a little like tea together. Like all the things, and she's willing to like act up and be stupid just like I am. That's why we get along so well. Like she would be probably number one as far as like who am I going to drag out to the dance floor? Who's going to be getting fat with me eating like 3 pounds of cake? Like who's going to be doing all the wedding things? Probably Leia. So
Okay, full circle moment.
oh my god, she's the best, genuinely.
Okay, well, I won't keep you any longer. Like I said, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am enjoying your journey, even though it's not looking like we thought it would. You're still bringing us the entertainment, so we're super appreciative. And I hope you have a great rest of your birthday.
Oh, thanks, Morgan. It's great to see you again.
Yes, you too. Thanks again, you guys, for tuning into this week's episode of MPT. If you have not left a review, please do so. A little 5-star boop boop, a little love you like a sis. If you want more, make sure you join the Patreon, patreon.com/Morgan's Pop Talks. We do Bachelor in Paradise recaps every single week, as well as other Bachelor Nation news like Mel Owens in his Glamour magazine article about how he shouldn't have said what he said about the women on his season. We do Bravo Friday where we talk about all things Bravo as well. So if you want more, come get it. If not, I'll see you next week on another episode of MPT. And as always, love you like a sis.